Okay, so today we're going to be talking about personal care and the best way to help your camper get changed and take a shower, and just with any of the other general personal care needs that we take care of here at camp. So first, a general rule of thumb, if it's wet and it's not yours, don't touch it. So you're going to want to make sure that you find some gloves that are a good size for you. At camp, all the gloves we have are latex free. So just make sure that you take a quick glance at a box if it's one that your camper brought along to make sure that they're latex free as well, so that if anyone who has an allergy is staying safe. And then once you have your gloves on and you've finished up your personal care, you're going to want to make sure you take them off the safest way. So pinching the wrist part here and getting that thumb free so that you're able to pull off both of them and then be able to throw them away in the safest way possible. Okay, so this is our underwear style brief. The front looks just like the back except for it has these blue stripes on it. Most of this type of brief will either have a couple stripes or maybe a size stamp across the back. So that lets you know you want that to go across your camper's back, and they just step into it and pull it up nice and tight, just like your underwear fits on you. Laying down. And then once your camper has soiled the brief or you need to take it off, you can just pull right along the seam here, and then it will rip straight down for easy off and easy back on access. We also have a brief with tabs on it. So a good way to know which is the back on these is just knowing in general that the tabs go across the back. These briefs usually have two stripes down the middle that are yellow, and when your brief is soiled, they usually turn blue. So it's a quick way to just check and see if someone's soiled before getting them changed if you can't tell. I'm going to have Anna come on over, and I'm going to show you guys how to tell when you're putting this on someone. I'm just going to be spinning around here. So when we put a brief on someone, we'll show you when they're laying down, but then also if they do put a brief on while they're standing up, you want this to go right across the small of their back. So when they sit down, the brief doesn't slide down too far, or if it's up here at their shoulder blades, we're not going to have enough to bring it up in the front. So you can just use a good rule of thumb, getting it in the middle of their back here, right at their hip bones. If it's someone who does get changed standing up, I usually have them put it on in the front first. So she's going to hold that right at her belly button, even with the small of her back. And I'm going to just let her know, I'm going to pull it up back here, right across here. And then you'd be able to just tab up one side at a time so it's fitting nice and tight on your camper that way. If it's a camper who gets changed laying down in their bed, you're going to want to make sure that you grab one of these, and this is called a chuck. It has a kind of a waxy side as well as a cotton side. So the cotton side goes up facing your camper, and the waxy part goes against their bed. Something that's really important to keep in mind about the chuck is they're used for different things. So some campers might just sleep on them in case of an accident, but if they don't have an accident, it's really important to change them also the next morning, because the cotton part kind of separates and pulls up, and it's not going to do you much good if we're not making sure we have a fresh, clean one down each time. So I'm going to put my chuck down and then have my camper Anna just lay down on that, because we're going to get changed in her bed. I'm going to pull it up just a little bit. Thank you. And some campers will be able to help you out like Anna. Other campers are going to need that transfer, some of the transfers we showed you before, into their bed. That's kind of camper dependent. But if I want to get this brief underneath Anna, it can't be like what we might be used to for a small child, just lifting up their legs. So we're going to have to use a rolling method. So it's really important that you're always rolling towards yourself so that your camper can't fall off the bed. Or rolling them if there is a wall like there is in this room. You could roll them towards the wall just to make sure that they won't fall off the bed. Hi Anna, I'm going to be helping you get changed today. Alright. Okay, so I'm going to put my hand under her shoulder and then also under her hip and give her a nice roll towards me. A lot of campers, once they're in this motion, can hold on to the side of the bed, or you could put their wheelchair here so that they're able to stay in this same position while you're getting them changed. And then I'm going to come over here with my brief, get it lined up in the small of her back, and then use sort of a tucking motion to tuck the tabs and about half the brief underneath Anna. If I wanted to see how this is going to fit, I would just give it a nice pull. Yep, it looks like it's going to be really nice and even. So lay her right back down onto that brief. pull the middle part out here. So we got this here. And then you're just gonna put your hands under here and do some looking for those tabbies that you've put under the side here. So they pull out nice and even. You can even do a little scoot with this. Make sure it looks nice. And then you'd be able to pull up the front part. Get it laid nice and tight, just like your underwear fits on you, and then tab up each side. If your brief is soiled and you want to take it off, it's the same type of motion. I always make sure I get the front nice and cleaned up first, and then roll the front part into a little ball here so that it's all covered. So that way when you roll your camper, the soiled part's not going to get on them. Let your camper know. I'm going to roll you one more time. I would roll Anna over, grab that soiled part out, get your camper all cleaned up this way. You can usually just give your brief a nice tug. It pulls out nice and tight. You can drop it in the trash can, and then you'd be able to put that new brief on just the same way. The rolling technique works really well for both types of brief. So even if they were using one that was more of the underwear style, I would just slide it up onto her feet. Might be a bit hard to get over your shoes. So we would slide it on. Thanks. Soil the brief is. I would suggest this way. So I would probably suggest just ripping it and then balling it up the same way as before. Rolling your camper one more time. Pulling it out. And then you're ready for the day.